The Simpsons.
There are women in law enforcement, there's civilian women that would absolutely beat my ass. And I believe would be completely capable of that. Hours of what they should have done is made her sit there for 3 days and have nothing happen, and randomly some up goes and tries to stab her.
I know my car registration's a year overdue.
And you're like, my guy, I'm just trying to poop somewhere clean. Please leave me alone. Welcome back to Only Cops. On this episode of Officers React, we're going to be looking at Marge Becomes a Cop. It's going to be The Simpsons. So go ahead and enjoy riding two-man with us while we break down these clips. I wonder if it's going to be like old OG Simpsons. Or is this looks
season
like
6?
Oh,
That's pretty old.
how is animation's holding up if it's like old? No,
This is dumb face.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you can tell this is before they moved up to the new whatever it is.
well, I like this 007 intro. We're already at Ag Assault. Yeah, we're not even a couple seconds.
That was
into it.
self-defense, dude.
It was.
Just pick the red card. It's totally not hard.
20 on this one, my good man.
Sorry, dude. Black.
Here we go. Oh, here we are.
Oh!
Surely you don't blame me.
It's people like you who are ruining our downtown promenades and piazzas. How dare you prey on the greedy and stupid
Like the
us?
cigarette pack in his...
Yes, in his sleeve.
Yeah. Rolled
How
up
dare
sleeves.
you play on the greedy and
He's
stupid?
getting away. Come on, come on.
No, Marge!
No, Marge. We all know that cop. He made it 8 whole steps.
Whoa.
I must warn you, yeah, sometimes ordinary people get a surge of adrenaline.
Have a surge of adrenaline. Oh, dang!
See?
See?
We're putting this dirtbag away.
I'll be back on the street in 24 hours.
100%.
We'll try to make it 12.
Yep.
Okay, so
Oh, yeah.
so the way
That's true, though.
the way that we call it the system works is that if an officer arrests you, they're basically saying that they have probable cause, or PC, to arrest you for a charge. They will write up a report basically making their argument for the case that the charge is there. The judge will then see them while they're in custody and decide whether or not they agree that you have PC for it, and then they'll typically give you a bond. Unless it's something pretty egregious, like triple murder or something crazy like that, a lot of times most people are on the streets within 24 to 48 hours, regardless of the crime.
You know what with this, though? She chased him.
Oh,
He was almost in the right, pulling out the knife.
and
Almost.
if they were gambling, I mean I mean, he's self-defending himself against the pursuer, so it's a little bit in the gray. I'd be curious to see, even if he's swindling somebody, that doesn't give you the right to go then chase somebody and assault them. But that being said, they're taking her side of the story because the legal
He's
system,
a known criminal.
the legal system does not favor men.
We're trying to make it 12.
He said make it 12.
Marge.
Also, cops are not taxis.
No.
So, wouldn't have got a ride there,
No.
probably.
I mean, if it's the spouse of the victim for something that they're thinking,
They would have brought her back to him
That's
before
true.
they would have brought
That's
him
true.
to her,
You're right.
to the crime scene.
You're right. Hey, Springfield's about that,
Community policing.
my guy. Here it is.
Yep.
What you get?
Okay.
So
Clearly doesn't have garage
Yeah.
door sensors.
So I will say that, yeah, no kidding. I will say this. When you're younger, it is absolutely exciting that you do have to have some semblance of risk-taking behavior because you do drive cars fast. All of the tropes that you see in policing is within the realm of possibility. It doesn't happen all the time, but there is, I think, a bit of an addiction.
Well, I like how they're portraying her as like searching for adrenaline now.
That's what I
She
get,
got
yeah.
that one big adrenaline dump, and
Yeah.
now she's like, I need more.
Yeah, now she's got that.
You get enough adrenaline dumps, and you're like, I can't
Yeah,
take
so,
it
so
anymore.
once you're on midnights because you're a rookie and you get the bad days off, which means you work weekends, and you're working, sporting events and stuff like that, and you're getting in a fight every single night, and you're doing a bunch of uses of force, and it's just a constant adrenaline drip. Yeah, that gets
Adrenal
old.
fatigue is real.
It gets old real fast. But it is cool when it's new to you. And I think it makes sense. Her reaction to it makes sense.
All right, get in
Wow,
there.
that was
We're going down.
a lot of cops.
Yeah.
For
Here.
3
Going
cars.
code.
You're pretty hot, huh? Well, we got everything we need on you.
I would be that pumped about good pizza.
Actually, I'm interested in becoming a police officer.
His hair was black earlier in the episode.
I will say this, there was a huge stigma about female police officers being in the force. There are women in law enforcement, there's civilian women, that would absolutely beat my ass. And I believe would be completely capable of that. I would say this now, and I'll probably rub some people the wrong way, that there is a difference in between male or female, a 120-pound officer and a 200-pound officer. I do think that there's a safety issue with law enforcement on that, but given the officers that are laughing at her, she's clearly in better shape and probably more capable and brave to step in and do the job that they're laughing at her for wanting to do. The highest speed, lowest drag thing they did was get that pizza, and she actually stopped a knife-wielding guy. So I'm Team Marge on this one, and they're kind of being dicks for laughing at her. Look at that stoic mindset. Look at that, no care.
As she is coming through.
Yeah. She doesn't care. She sees a bunch of fat cops laughing.
Welcome aboard.
That's exactly what it's like. And you got to think about it before you do it, you were a civilian. I remember physically and mentally feeling the transition of being a civilian in a cop world and then being an officer and being able to do the job and the different type of respect you will get. And part of it's hazing. There's definitely a hazing aspect of, look at this pathetic little civilian. This is very adorable. Regardless of your background, until you start doing the job, in a funny way, it happened within seconds that they went from laughing her out to actually, eventually being like, well, this chick's an idiot enough to want to be one of us. Welcome to the force, or welcome to the opportunity at least. I'd be curious to see if they'd go through academy and stuff.
All right, you scrawny beanpoles. Becoming a cop is not something that happens overnight.
Agreed.
It takes one solid weekend of training to get that
One
badge.
solid. In a lot of places, so we were lucky. We had one of the longest academies it was like a year and a half worth of constant supervised training, from academy to field training to even being on probation. It's almost 2 years. There's also like a probationary period where pretty much like your supervisors are going through over everything you do with a fine-tooth comb, looking for mistakes that you're making.
Some supervisors.
Some supervisors. There are, and I would say it's probably still the minority of police departments, but there are police departments where it's like, here's a 3-month tour, here's a badge, here's a gun, good luck. And it's very apparent when you start to look at, if your police department's not making the news, it's probably because they're pretty good at what they do.
And the training to get that badge.
Forget about the badge! When do we get the freaking guns?
Hey, I told you, you don't get your gun until you tell me your name.
Is he wearing a prison uniform?
It looks like it.
That's awesome. An obstacle course. Who would have guessed? Oh,
This is
legit.
intense. I like how her hair didn't get caught in that.
Of course not.
The wall, definitely a thing.
Women always have trouble with the wall. They never seem to find the door.
Oh, wrecked. Oh my goodness.
Marge is a boss.
You
Dude.
missed the baby? You missed the
Except for
birthday?
standing in the middle of the street with no cover or concealment.
Well, since they were cardboard cutouts.
Heck yes. That's a speed reference.
Oh, sorry, Simpson. You'll have to do the course again. I'm trying to get this magic eye thing to work.
Oh my
Look
goodness.
at that, huh? A pony.
The training is cool. There's definitely some cool things that you get the opportunity and experience to do. Police driving was one of the funnest For the 5 seconds I got to do it, I passed everything a little too quickly. You and I both passed it a little too quickly, and then we got stuck shacking cones.
Yeah.
You do go through...
When you pass in the first,
Yeah.
I don't know, 6 hours of your first day,
Yeah.
the 3-day block that they have for driving just becomes not that much fun.
I will also say this. So you do get a lot of scenario-based training and shoot and no shoot. The training's gotten a little bit more... I guess, complex recently. They have VR stuff now. They have a lot of different avenues to kind of teach you how to make these force-on-force decisions. I think there's a lot of emphasis put on how to make that decision as opposed to just making you comfortable in a high-stress environment. I don't know that you can do that in a training situation, though. In a training environment where everything's controlled, it doesn't matter how good you get at those scenarios. It doesn't supplement actually having experience on the street. The other problem with a lot of these scenarios is there's pretty much never going to be 18 gunmen and you're by yourself and you're sitting there kind of pointing. There's no mom with a child that's going to run, oh, there's gunfire, let me go look in the window. Like, in a way, you're almost injuring that new officer more than you're helping them mentally by thinking that this is everything that they're going to be ready for. They need to be ready. There's a seriousness to it because there's plenty of officers die from that random person that decides they want to go shoot you in the face when you're walking up to your car. And this training finds a way to make it seem cute and fun and exciting, but really it's hours of... What they should have done is made her sit there for 3 days and have nothing happen and randomly some up goes and tries to stab her. If anything, months.
But that wouldn't work in a
But it's
hard weekend of training.
Yeah, it's not practical, and there's just no way to simulate that.
All right, settle, people. Settle. Wood and Van's Island, stake out Donut Land. When they fry up a fresh batch, call it in. Neely and Earhart, back 'em up. Fitz and Garcia, it's your turn to sleep in. And Simpson, seeing how this is your first day, you're inexperienced and vulnerable. Your beat is Junkieville and Bumtown.
Well, that seems
Yep,
correct.
that seems 100% correct. You will
Look
get...
how happy she is.
Pretty much where nobody else wants to work, they're going to stick you. I also do think it's funny that in briefing, if it's your first briefing, everyone kind of probably embarrasses you and sits there and say, oh yeah, and by the way, there's a rookie. Everyone go stare at the rookie that clearly all of us know is a rookie. Let's just make a big deal about it for the next month. And yes, you will walk like an idiot thinking, oh, being in the beat's a great idea until you have to start doing police work. We'll play the clip.
Hello, Mr. Hutz.
I'll have you know, the contents of that dumpster are private. You stick your nose in, you'll be violating attorney dumpster confidentiality.
I just wanted to say hello.
Oh. Hello.
He must be a defense attorney.
100%.
Nice.
So, pause it. So, there's an odd, and I hate the old joke is when you walk into a store, everyone's, oh, I didn't do it, and they make this weird joke. The reverse aspect of that is every single time you interact with somebody when you're in uniform, everyone acts like you're like can read their minds and see their sins. It's a very strange phenomenon that everyone feels like everything wrong that they ever did I somehow know about.
You know what else is funny? They just always want to tell you the things that they've done wrong.
Yes. Someone will come
It's
out
the
and
weirdest
say
thing.
that I didn't pay my back taxes or weird stuff I don't care about, or I'm sorry.
I know my car registration's a year overdue.
And you're like, my
Don't
guy,
care.
I'm just trying to poop somewhere clean. Please leave me alone. But that is a weird, because you're such a visible, you are literally in a uniform. You're a very visible part of, you are walking consequences for bad. The IRS doesn't have a person that walks around.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. Yeah. But you are quite literally a walking consequence to technically wrongdoing. So that interaction you can't help. If you're wearing a uniform, people are going to interact with you like that. So I find it funny that they added that. To the quickie mark.
You are the new cop on the beat. Okay, I know the drill. What would it be, 100?
That's awesome.
Whoa!
Not surprised.
I don't even
Better not even take a cookie.
I don't take free food. Yeah, I wouldn't want any there to be any room for suspicion that you're getting. And the reason being is because obviously that could taint a police investigation. Your job is there to be objective, and your job there is to protect everyone equally under the law, regardless of their situation. Abu should not be in the habit of handing police officers money.
Oh, yes,
Yep.
cops.
I got a report on disturbance at this address.
Yes, indeed there is.
She's going by herself.
There's an inflatable bath pillow that Mother and I both enjoy. She claimed it was her day to use it. I maintain she was mistaken. We quarreled. Later, as I prepared to bathe, I noticed to my horror that someone had slashed the pillow.
Who called the police?
We both did.
Look, why don't you two...
Oh, that's accurate.
That's,
I'm sure
yeah.
you can get another pillow.
Well, I could send it back to Taiwan for repair, but why should I have to? I've done nothing wrong. And I don't give permission for my face to be on TV. I want it blurred.
That's most situations. There's not a police reason for it. There's not. People call because they want you to fix their problems, especially in domestics. I can't tell you. It's probably 50, if not more, % of the calls that you go to are domestic related. These are people that know each other. They get into arguments and they want the police to go fix it for them. I cannot make...
Because one's cheating on the other.
100%.
And they stole their cell phone.
100%.
They get in a fist fight over the cell phone.
Won't give back the $50 they borrowed.
And then they called us to scare that person, and then we take someone to jail, and they get mad.
Yeah.
So
This is...
it is what it is.
Illegal gambling in my house?
Your house? Your house? Gee, it's so glamorously decorated. I thought I was in Vegas.
Good job, Mo.
You
Good
guys
job.
lied to me. It said Vegas. We'll just be going.
Marge, you chased away all my poker buddies.
I didn't mean to.
Why did you become such a cop? Not that long ago, you were so much more to me. You were a cleaner of pots, a sewer of buttons, an unplugger of hairy clogs.
I'm still all those things. Only now I'm cleaning up the city, sewing together the social fabric, and unplugging the clogs of our legal system.
Such a rookie.
You're
Yep.
cooking what for dinner?
That is a bright-eyed, bushy... So, everything she said is not wrong. I think the issue becomes the burden of realizing that the more work... It's like Sisyphus. The more work you do, technically the further the boulder feels like it goes down the hill. Like, I think to have the right mindset and to not be disappointed going into law enforcement, accept the fact that you are in a gear that cycles. Not that you're fixing something. You are simply allowing society to lubricate the gears that it needs to continue to run. I have very seldomly experienced actual versions of what she said. I've experienced them short term and then watched them go back to kind of shit when you get enough time. But there's just no... Society is what it is. If you're a police officer in a place where most of their people have their stuff sorted out, your job's pretty easy and you spend most of your time harassing people with tickets. When you're in a impoverished area where there's not a lot of education, there's not a lot of help from city organizers and city planners or the education system or anything, all you do is put Band-Aids on gunshot wounds. Like, it is just... I'd say, like, right after about, like, your second full year on the street, you start realizing, like, I've made, 200 felony arrests, and maybe 2 of them went to jail, Everybody else got probation, and I'm just back out here.
Everywhere I look, someone is breaking the law.
Here we go.
Yep.
Man littering, horse not wearing diaper, car parked across 3 handicapped spaces. Homer!
Hey, Marge, how's my little piglet?
Homer.
My little piglet.
Good for him.
That's okay.
Good for
Supposed to
him.
be working too.
She's got a great sense of humor.
Your car.
I'll just be a second, Marge. I'm going to get some beer for those kids over there.
Nice.
I'm gonna pretend that I didn't hear that, but you have to move your car now.
I'll be right back. Now keep your eyes peeled for a real cop.
That's it. I'm gonna write you a
Yep.
ticket.
Come on, we're
Hey,
family.
You're breaking the
Blade him, my girl. Go get him.
You rip up that ticket, and I'll give you back your hat. I'll make you eat. You rip up that ticket, and I'll give you back your hat.
Yeah.
Taking an officer's cap
Yeah.
is an arrestable offense.
Yeah, you gotta... No. So, we'll call it the illusion of control. So that there's... In law enforcement, you're going to be outnumbered by society about 1,000 to 1. But of those 1,000 people, 998 of them just want to comply and kind of skate by. 2 out of those 1,000 people are legit. I guess you can call them the 3%ers. They don't care. They'll go raise mayhem. It's whatever. The jokers of society are out there. However, if you cannot maintain the image of control or that you're in control, it leaks pretty quickly. Your authority starts diminishing pretty quick. Because there's the actual authority that you're empowered with through the legal system, and then your actual authority of practical authority in that what would you do against 100 people that didn't want to listen to you? So
Pepper spray.
the OC bomb.
Taking an officer's cap is an arrestable offense.
Ooh, what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do? Huh? Ooh, I'm Officer Marge. I'm gonna arrest you. Hey, what? Marge, not here. Hey, you're not really arresting me.
You have the right to remain silent.
I choose to waive that right.
I choose to waive that right. I mean, yeah. Yeah, good for him. Go get it, big guy.
Yell all you want.
Advance on him, man.
I don't
Advance.
think that's a very good idea.
Oh no, it's Gloria Vanderbilt out for revenge.
It's Gloria
What?
Vanderbilt.
Officer Simpson of the police.
This is an appropriate police response, but she needs backup. She's probably get on the radio and be like, "Hey, I need people, peace." Oh yeah, look at this.
This bird home?
This-
Take your Maggie first goal.
I guess I am putting up the Halloweeny decorations a little early. Criticism accepted.
I'd shoot a witch.
Criticism accepted.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, it's good old Flanders.
He has one arm.
Yeah.
Freeze. Every mother knows the secret entrance to her son's treehouse.
Oh, Marge, you saved my life. I'm sorry I killed you. You're a really good cop. I'm proud of you.
Now he's gonna grab the gun.
Yeah.
Because she's distracted.
Yeah, she's distracted. Good job.
Hold on, gotta catch the 501.
He's getting away. You'll blow it, Marge.
I don't think so.
Oh, foiled by my own shiny merchandise.
Foiled by my own shoddy merchandise.
Also, that's a pretty accurate representation of police and the citizens.
Yep.
You're the best. You blew it.
Yep.
Look, old Chief's back to black hair.
This continuity, man, it's killing me. He also doesn't have stars on his
It's
collar.
That's some nice work, Simpson, but we can't hold them. There's no evidence.
Yes, there is. There's a garage full of counterfeit jeans.
They've mysteriously disappeared. Looking good, boys.
So there's
That's
a
why she's better off alone.
There's a pretty controversial idea of what's called asset forfeiture, where basically if the police department can fill out a bunch of affidavits and prove that these were ill-gotten gains, there are certain states that do allow for police departments to take these things and either sell them for money to raise money or utilize these items. This is pretty controversial because that can be very easily abused, and there's actually a lot of examples where that is abused. However, that being said, if you can go through all the process of proving that, you know, these things were ill-gotten gains and it's like a junky 94 Civic or something like that, that is actually a pretty good undercover car. And you can utilize these things instead of paying taxpayer money. That being said, I think that there has to be a lot of transparency in that type of stuff because it can, again, like this, it could be abused and you can have really shady, terrible cops that take bribes and use evidence as...
I don't think anyone was thinking Springfield was like the stand-up community of the year.
Yeah,
so.
no. But anyways, we'll keep playing.
That's it. There's too much corruption on this force. I quit.
That's what you should do. And that's what they will do to you.
Sorry to lose you, Simpson.
Yeah, they did a good job of portraying what I think most people...
I was about to say, Marge goes through that very standard police arc of wanting that something new and exciting and you want to make a difference. And I think you can, and obviously this is The Simpsons, it's a short episode. There's a lot of opportunities that you're proud of your job and you're proud of what you do and you do take bad guys off the street or you save people's lives. I don't think there's any cop in a big city that hasn't done all of the above. So it's kind of an uphill battle. I think anybody that's wanting to do it, it's an admirable position. It's very selfless. I think it's a good job if you're willing to accept all of the negative aspects of it. I think admin can destroy it. I think the city council can destroy it. And I think that you're going to be very underwhelmed with the amount of cool stuff you do versus just kind of being mediator for society and kind of being the parents for everybody that you work for. So it's
The parents for adults that are older than you.
Yeah. Thank you for following us on this deep dive as we rode 2 men into this Simpsons episode. But if you have subscribe, comment, give us some suggestions of other stuff and clips you want us to watch. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.